Hello everybody, Houston here. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. And before jumping into the charts, don't forget to smash the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe as well. And let's do it. So let's talk about Bitcoin. It has been a while since I been away. Forgive me by my absence. And yeah, so before talking about price itself, let's talk about this. First, the US dollar. So a few weeks ago, maybe 1 month ago, Bitcoin was behaving. So Bitcoin against the dollar, not against the euro, the dollar. So was behaving accordingly with the dollar. And so we managed to stay in control for a long period of time, both on the dollar and on Bitcoin. Okay, and so we did it with the head and shoulders, which broke bearish around the 12K, which you guys are aware. But since that bear break on the head and shoulders, Bitcoin is behaving against the dollar. And so this is not a decouple. There is no such a thing because Bitcoin is still trading against the dollar, and there are rules for the money in assets or in stocks or precious metals, forex, crypto, whatever. They follow the same rules. And since that day, a thing that we noticed, it's the Tether started to print like there is no tomorrow. We are talking not about millions, but hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in the house of, if I'm not wrong, more than $6 billion. Yes, folks. The thing went wild. For example, 50 millions hour after hour. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And okay, so this is a thing to have in mind for now. Now let's talk about the other thing, which we saw the Square guys making a big purchase on Bitcoin. If I'm not wrong, was about around 500 $50 million, around $50 million. But the thing is, Tether is printing much, much more than the institutions are buying. Way more, off the scale. And so, we were somewhat triggered. So what's going on? What's happening? What these guys know that we don't know? So the Square folks, they had privileged information about the PayPal news. So they went up first, and then we had the news, and then the market continued moving, and also Tether pumping. So at this point, we knew they were aware of things we weren't, that we have no idea about such things. But okay, and so this possibly changed the market direction. Yes. And as you guys know, I was expecting another low, not a new low, another low before continuation. And we are going to talk about this in a few minutes. And okay, so the other thing, the second wave, the number of new cases, infected people, number of deaths, hospitals crowded, are rising again. And we already have many countries with limitations again, flights ban, and many things that we saw back in February till May, June, around this date. And also, right now, we also have confirmation of multiple lockdowns. It is starting again, and this can be a big problem. It can be. But we still don't know how the markets are going to behave about this. And also another thing, it's the stimulus deal, which is probably not going to pass to the elections. So probably Trump is going to win, and then they are going to bring the stimulus. And so this way, maybe they want good numbers for the economy, around the end of the year. And remember, we had a similar scenario in 2019, which we had the tightening pattern before the end of the year, and then a big bull break and the crash by the end of January, February. So a lot of things going on, a lot of things. And we can't forget, cryptocurrencies are risky assets. When things go bad, risky assets don't behave well. So this is not my words, this is not only about what I think, this is historical data and evidence. So now let's take a look on Bitcoin. Let's start on the monthly. Excuse me. So, step-by-step approach, you guys know the deal. Previous high, previous low, less high, and less low. So right now, Bitcoin still didn't reach the top of the previous one, which is 13,785 for this chart right here. But if I'm not wrong, it's 880 on Bitstamp. The high for this one was 13,724. So very, very close. This is a power candle. Yes, we can deny it's a power candle. It's strong and it's on the monthly. But excuse me. A thing that we have to acknowledge is this. So you guys are familiar with this chart. This is a perpetual setup for Bitcoin. Our targets for the long run are based on also on this chart. Not only, but also. And so let's take a look here. 13,880 against 13,775. So we're talking about a small difference, $100. And yeah, so do we have right now a bull break? No, we don't have a bull break. This guy right here was a low compared with this guy right here. And so this guy right here is still a low compared with the previous one. So we don't have any bull break at all. Okay, so this is it's a fact. We can have one. Yes, it is possible. And if it keeps going like this, it is likely to happen, because we are also going to talk about this as well. So just a second. So this is for you guys to acknowledge the bigger picture, because we always have to start from the macro. So it looks like it wants to break, okay? But the same thing was true for the other scenarios as well. Right here, oh, we are going. No, whoops. And another thing, Bitcoin never, since 2017, never managed to stay above this level. And the interesting thing about this is the monthly candle will close in 4 days and 1 hour. And the same thing is true for the weekly, 4 days and 1 hour. So if by any chance we end up rejected from those levels, it can be bad. Bad in a short time frame. We know we have been talking about this, how bullish crypto Bitcoin is, and we know the new all-time highs will come soon. The question is when. And so I am really eager to wait for the monthly close and the weekly close. And this is still not all the evidence. There is more. Like we talked about the previous high, we must take this guy out. Okay. And another thing that some folks were saying, well, you were wrong. Yes, I was wrong. And there is no shame on this. Every month I am wrong. You guys saw all the trading history of the Champions Club. I share everything. Everything is public. And so one of the reasons, So there is all the external forces and events outside the chart that we talked about. There is no good news. The only good news is PayPal. Everything else is bearish news. So I was fully committed, and I was believing these head and shoulders right here that you guys are familiar with would hold Bitcoin, but it didn't, and I was wrong. But if there is anyone out there who never been wrong, please feel free to teach me. And so, yes, okay. So now let's take a look here on this. So these bars in the right side are the VRPR. That's volume profile. And another thing about this is the red line you guys can see from the left to the right. On this range, on all these candles in the screen, it measures all the candles in the screen. We can see the level with the highest amount of money traded. And another thing, back in the day, after the head and shoulders bear break, a lot of people were calling for what? A fall to 90,600 because it's the CME gap. You guys remember this? But so far, nothing. Very interesting. And we also know that price likes to chase ranges with a lot of traded volume because those levels hold a lot of money in those ranges. And now let's take a look here on this one. So this one stands for 90,000. 9491, almost 9500. And now let's zoom out just a little bit to see how this range is going to change. So now it's 9,260, 3,794, 9436, 4015, 3,629, and if I zoom again, it will go below. Yes. If I'm not wrong, this is the head of the previous all-time highs of Bitcoin back in 2013. Yes, back in 2013. And also another thing here, very interesting thing. We can see here above in up to this level, there is not a lot of activity. Let's say activity. The yellow stands for the sellers and the blue for the buyers. But still, there is not a lot of follow through on these levels. But okay, this is just for more data about this and about everything that's happening. And another thing that we have to acknowledge is this. Some people think that we traders, we are fools. Especially the ones who said people who trade using leverage end up losing all their money. This is a very noob statement because all professionals only trade using leverage. That's the only way to outperform the markets and make money in the long run. Keeping doing this in the long run. So what they do, they end up all the time with 100% exposure, and that's why they end up dead in the water the majority of times and turn to be holders, not by option, but because they can't take a big loss. And we have our long-term investments. So Bitcoin is going up. It's fantastic. I'm happy with this. Our struggle in the Champions Club is how to make the best of this. from this move, how to make most profits, and it's based on leverage positions. This is the way, the same way we have been doing since January of this year. And so the thing that I'm looking to is to get at least one, because we don't trade any scenario. We wait for specific scenarios, even when we are wrong. And so the idea is to get a leverage position in a good spot and ride this all the way, perhaps for 6 months, 1 year. It's going to be very, very profitable. So this is the struggle now. There is no problem, there is no issue. Every month we make big trades, and also we lose trades as well. It is what it is. And let's take a quick look. Let me see. I saw a chart. I don't remember who posted this. Second. Oh, and also another thing that we can't forget. In January, 6th of January, if I'm not wrong, Bitcoin products on UK are going to be banned. So this is not good news, okay? Because the United States can and probably will follow. They share like the same policy and etc. And maybe many others may follow as well. So that's not bullish. Someone acknowledged this as a level to be concerned, and it is what people call a resistance level. It holds a lot of sellers pressure. Yes, it holds. And another thing that we have to acknowledge as well, because there is a lot of things. So let's take a look here. Back in the day, so we acknowledge a bull break, the beginning of a bull run with a new high compared with the previous one. That's how we measure this. So if we take a quick look here, the bull break was this guy right here. So the pullback doesn't matter. So we are talking about January and December, so it's 12 months, okay, that Bitcoin was ascending. So this was the parabolic, and this is somewhat the hyperbolic. So remember, 12 months going up non-stop, but if we acknowledge since the bottom, so let's say December, that's roughly 2 years. 2 years going up non-stop. And in this scenario here, so far, Bitcoin is going up since March, the beginning of March. So we are talking about 8 months. So we always have to acknowledge that there are rules to go down and rules to go up. If this is a legitimate break, Bitcoin will probably, or should, go up, blasting through everything. But again, so far we still don't have evidence. This guy is still a lower high compared with the previous one, but it's still very aggressive. This is true, this is a fact. We can see it here. And let's take a closer look on the 3 days. So as you guys can see, it's very, very close. Let's take a look on the daily. Yes, so how rejections work? Rejections, before they end up rejected, it's a full body candle, just like Bitcoin have one right now. So like I said, we need the closes to see how this will play out. And Bitcoin is very, very close. It's going to close below and go down a little bit before continuation, or they will keep charging, just charging. We will see this happening or not soon. Take a look on the 12. So in the majority of the time frames, on the bigger ones, we have power candles. So this is aggressive, very aggressive. Let's take a look now on the 4. Still aggressive. It's showing some signs of exhaustion because at this point it's probably oversold. And we also have multiple bearish divergence on volume, and especially on buyer's volume, multiple bearish divergences. And in the other chart, it's a little, so Bitcoin is doing a thing. Another thing that we have to acknowledge is this. And let me show you this on the gold chart. Just a second. Just for you guys to understand what we are dealing with. So here in the bottom, it's the gold before the bull break. We end up with a descending pattern and then the bull break. Bullish continuation pattern, bull break. Falling wedge, bullish continuation pattern, bull break. Bullish continuation pattern, bull break. And here, this one, also this one is the COVID, the C19 event. Right after, close it above our key level, bullish continuation structure, again, continuation, blast through. And now we are developing some, let's say, a bit of a correction before continuation again. So what we don't know so far, it's how this is going to play out in correlation with fiat. But this is a talk for another point. So what I'm trying to show you here is this. We go up and then we rest a little before going up again. Rest a little, go up again. And how Bitcoin is behaving. Second. Okay. Hold on just a second. This. Okay, let's go. Yes. So how Bitcoin is behaving. We had the head and shoulders structure, which is a top reversal structure in any asset, in any market, in any time frame. And this will never change. And then we had this bearish continuation structure, which was somewhat a 50%, because it wasn't clear, because it has a DNA of a bearish one and a bullish one. So I took a shot and I went short on this, and you saw I explaining everything about this in a previous video. But so, and then Bitcoin broke bullish from a bearish structure, okay? And then we had this weird or shapeless movement before bullish continuation. Okay, no problem at all. And then this one right here, that was not even close to be a bullish retrace before a big move. So all those things triggers a somewhat like something is not right. So it's not just because it's going up that everything is okay. And in my humble opinion, I still believe that something is wrong. Something is wrong, okay? And I can be wrong about this, of course. But so this is not a concern. This is a observation. And we understand that if we keep going up, followed by weird and bearish signals, multiple bearish signals, because every time there is a bearish candle formation or pattern, Bitcoin goes up, and then goes up, and then goes up. And so this at some point can turn into a problem. And again, we have multiple bearish divergences on volume. So this is another thing to look at. Okay. Let's take a closer look on the 1 hour. So here it is, just one example of we just talked about. So let me see. Okay, so right here, bearish candle engulfed, then they pierce it again, bearish sign, another bearish sign, but with a lot of bullish aggression, and now again, we just had a bearish candle formation pattern, and they made another move. So this looks like bear traps, and my concern is bullish things don't need such stuff. Okay, so if there's a lot of problem, firepower, there's no need for these things. And the last thing for us to acknowledge, 25 minutes already, this should be a quicker video. Another thing, just a second, let me take a look here. So, just a minute, hold on. Okay, it's updating. Yes, so right now, Bitcoin longs against the shorts are up close to 6 to 1, probably 5 and 5. And the problem with this, two things. So here we are looking on the Bitfinex numbers. If they continue going, if this is it, if it's bull run, it's confirmed, whatever, Bitfinex will have to pay a lot of money to a lot of people. A lot of money, really a lot of money. And this gives margin for a long squeeze. So this is nothing new. This already happened many times. We also saw this back in February. All the longs were way ahead against the shorts, which was like 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1 against the shorts. And we saw the longs squeeze. So this is another thing to watch out for, and stay vigilant about all those things. So there is a lot of things happening, and a lot of things to acknowledge as well. Okay, so tomorrow I'll try to make a video about XRP and then one about Ethereum, and in the day after I will probably make one about the dollar and the stocks. And by the way, we made insane gains on the stocks because people have been saying that we were wrong, you know, things are going up, this is it, the stimulus deal, and we shorted the market. We shorted Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and SPX. In total, we made around 1,000 points. That's a lot of points. The top ones was Index and SPX. So we losing sometimes, we make big wins in other sides, and not a problem at all. And yeah, so guys, this is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Forgive me by my absence. And also one of the reasons I stepped a bit from making daily videos, it's because the channel is not having follow through. Okay, I can't compete with the opium dealers. I can't, and it doesn't make sense keeping making videos. People don't even like the videos most of times, so they watch, they even enjoy, they like, but they don't press the button. So it most of times it, you know, there is no continuation in the channel. So yeah, so I will slow down a little bit, but this is it for now. If things change, I will change as well. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your support as well. And I will see you guys soon. See ya.